Okay, so now we're trying to figure out who's who. So let's start with the 13-year-old. And we know the 13-year-old is a boy. So we go to every O that belongs to the 13-year-old. So we have that figured out. Here, oh, okay, so he's a boy. So we're going to say not Elaine and not Yvonne. Okay, and then we go over here and do the same. Not Elaine and not Yvonne. And over here we do the same. Not Elaine and not Yvonne. And so that's good. Now let's go to the 14-year-old. The 14-year-old, let's see, if we go down the thing, oh, we can see here that it's it's not the first person, it's not Dimitri. The 14-year-old is not Dimitri. And then we go over here and we see it's not Elaine. So 14-year-old is not, let's see, not Dimitri. Go back to the 14. So it's not Dimitri and not Elaine. So we'll put that here. And not, so 14-year-old is not Dimitri and not Elaine. And 14-year-old is not Dimitri and not Elaine. And 14-year-old is not Dimitri and not Elaine. Then let's see, we got the 15-year-old here. And 15-year-old, let's see, we know it's not Dimitri. And that looks like it for now. So we know, okay, the 15-year-old is not Dimitri. 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 So that allows us one place here for the O. And we can see that the 13-year-old is Bungie. Okay, and so that's Dimitri. So 13-year-old is going to be Dimitri everywhere. So I'm going to go over here and add that everywhere I have the 13-year-old and X out the row and column. 13-year-old is Dimitri. Going to X out the column and the row. And 13-year-old is Dimitri. And I'm going to X out the row and column. And 13-year-old is Dimitri. Okay. And 13-year-old is Dimitri. And X out that as well. Okay. Let's just look real quickly around here and see. Okay, now we'll go to the 16-year-old. So the 16-year-old is not a boy. So we go make sure that all the 16-year-olds have that. Oh, this one, not a boy. So we put that in there. And the 16-year-old here, not a boy. And the 16-year-old here, not a boy. And the 16-year-old here, not a boy. So then we know the 14-year-old is Ricardo, and X out the rest of that column. So 14-year-old is Ricardo, and we're going to go here. So 14-year-old is Ricardo. X out the rest of that column and row. And 14-year-old is Ricardo. X out the rest of that column and row. That lets us tell us that this is an O here. So Elaine is this person. And now we have this box all filled out. So keeping on going to 14-year-old being Ricardo, let's finish up what we were doing there. 14-year-old is Ricardo. And let's see, go back to 14. 14-year-old is Ricardo. And 14-year-old is Ricardo. And then we have this here. Okay. So, alrighty, we're almost done. So then we have, let's look at the 15-year-old now. So the 15-year-old we know is not Dimitri or Ricardo. So not Dimitri or Ricardo, not Dimitri or Ricardo. Oh, here, the 15-year-old is Elaine. So we can add that over here. and go across here, and now we've got this box all filled out. And really that's what we needed, because we needed to know who was in first place, because they were the ones that messed up the science fair, because we had determined that whoever got to be first place was the one who was committing fraud. But if we want, we can just go ahead and fill in the rest of this just for completion's sake. So Elaine is Havers, so we're going to put an O here. And now this box is all filled out. Elaine, if we look, Elaine has ED1, so that's here. And now this box is all filled out. Elaine is RC4, so we add that here. Now this box is all filled out. Elaine is 15, so add that here. And we finished everything.